Hi, everybody. I hope that you're having a great week. I was just thinking about what we do. We're life givers, right? Revival is life again. And part of that equation is actually death. So you have life, then you have death, and then you have life again. And so just been thinking about that in terms of what we do and the work that we do and the Holy Spirit as He is one that gives us life again once we've died to ourselves. And actually, even just looking at the woods behind me, I was thinking this last week, man, I can see so much further when there's actually death in the forest, when you're not distracted or you don't have things that are in your way, all the other signs of life, it brings tremendous clarity and you can see so much further. And I was just thinking about that, how that translates into our life. I was reading this morning in Luke chapter 9 when Jesus says, if you're going to come after me, you've got to deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. And that's a daily thing. So there's this constant progression of death, of dying to ourselves, and so that the Spirit can give us life again. And I was just thinking about the clarity that death brings. When people are in foxholes and they're about ready to die, or if they're at the end of their life, and what it does is it just strips away everything that's not important. And when you're in the foxhole, they are dealing directly with this and praying to God, confessing sin. It's no mistake that our process when we're trying to help facilitate and create a context for revival, whether it's personal or corporate within a church or a community, is that brokenness is a part of that process. When somebody has a broken body, even when Jesus says, "This is my body that was broken for you," he's talking about death. And so when we're calling others to brokenness, and when we're looking to ourselves to be broken, we're talking about taking parts of our life and putting them on the altar and allowing them to die. And when that happens, that provides space for God to come in. He brings tremendous clarity about who He is, how He feels about us, about how we should view ourselves and how we should view others. Tremendous clarity helps us to see things as they actually are, to see Him for how good and how beautiful He is. And it's through death and the clarity there that actually is what allows for new life. I was talking with a new friend of mine today, or not today, earlier this week, and he was sharing with me about how after God had saved him, He took him to a retreat a few years later. And God just opened his eyes to this part of his life that had never died. And it was part of him that he had kept secret, had kept private, had kept quiet, and he was holding on to it and put barriers all around this part of his life. And when God, he revealed this to him, and He said, "Look, I love you. This needs to die now." And He walked him through the process of being broken. God used that not only for tremendous revival in his life, but then used that brokenness and that death of this part of his life, used that as a launching pad for genuine revival in his church and ultimately into his whole community. So I just want to encourage you today, if you are feeling broken, that's okay. God does that. He actually takes daily, He takes parts of us and puts it to death. If you're hurting, I learned from it's actually a French priest many years ago, and I was reading as letters that he was writing back and forth to a friend who was just suffering and was hurting and was struggling so badly. And he said, "Look, things that are dead don't suffer. Things that are dead don't hurt." And so if there's a degree where you have stress or anxiety or being hurt by other people or by relationships or by dreams or desires, I'm not trying to minimize that pain. I've dealt with it many times myself. But there may be some aspect of it where God is saying, "Look, I actually want that part of you to die. And when that does, that's going to give me opportunity for new life. No more suffering when things are dead. And it's an opportunity for His Spirit to bring life in us again." So we preach brokenness to ourselves. We preach that to our people. It's what God uses effectively. He uses death to bring new life again. And I pray that for you this week, and just love you and appreciate all that you do.